Hello, you're welcome back to the next section of this lecture, and I'm going to be showing you how to use Git and why you should use it. But we are going to learn the following: what is Git and why you should use it. And in here, I'm going to explain the difference between Git and GitHub. Okay, the link between Git and GitHub, how to push your codes to GitHub with Git command line, how to clone a project with Git. So in summary, we are going to learn this: what is Git, some benefit of using Git, some Git command line and their meaning, pushing a project version to GitHub using Git, cloning a project, pushing to another branch, cloning from a specific branch. Okay, so what is Git and GitHub? So I have an image here that explains this. So Git is installed and maintained on your local system rather in the cloud, while GitHub is designed as a Git repository hosting service. So in other words, you can use Git as a version control within your system to track the daily or the weekly progress of a project. But then if you want to access it from anywhere in the world, you have to like post it or push it online, and GitHub provide that service for you. Then of course GitHub was developed in 2005. One thing that really sets Git apart is its branching model. Now a branch is just like a subfolder. So inside a repository, which is like the main folder of that your project, you have some subfolder which are like branches. So if you're not sure of a code, you can save it inside another branch. Then after you're sure, you can now merge it to a master branch. So this is what the version control does. So Git is a high quality version control system, while GitHub is a cloud-based hosting service for storing codes. And mostly developers all over the world use GitHub to store all their code, whereas they use Git as a version control within their system. So they work hand in hand. They are related. They work to achieve one goal. Next, we move to some of the benefits of using Git. Now, one of the benefits of using Git is that you can track the progress of your project. One important another reason again is that while you're tracking the progress of your project, if there's an error, you can easily retrace and get back to your last commit where you didn't have an error, so you don't have to start afresh again. Then another benefit of using of pushing your codes to Git is that it enables you to access it from anywhere in the world, because it's like a website. You can access it from anywhere that you have internet. Then you can also use GitHub to collaborate with other developers all over the world. So you can use it to do remote job and to assist others in doing their own job. So it is very, very important. And with that said, with your GitHub account, potential employers can verify if you are actually suited for the job. So if you say I am this, I am that, I am that, once they ask you for your GitHub username and they find that you have not done quality projects, So they are going to know that you are not serious for the job. So that means that you must try to do some quality projects before you apply for a job, because they might ask you for it. Then another benefit of using Git is that it can save you the stress of repeating a project that you are almost done with. And let's say you are doing a project and there are 10 steps for completing that project, and perhaps in the 9th step your system got spoiled beyond repair. You can't retrieve the hard drive, it's beyond repair or it's stolen, and maybe there's a week for you to deliver the job that has taken you about 2 to 3 months now. So you see that if you have been using Git as a version control system, you have all your progress up to that 9th step on the cloud or in the cloud. So what you can do, you can borrow somebody's system or buy a new one and easily continue from where you stop. So these are some of the benefits of using Git. Now we are going to learn about some Git command line and their meaning. So Git init. So Git init is a function that initializes a new Git, and I'm going to show you how to use this. So if before you can start using Git or inform Git to start watching for changes in your current project, you have to use this command. Then git clone is to download a project from a repository that is in GitHub. Then git push is just to send the code to GitHub to the specified repository link that you provided. And I'm going to show you this. The git checkout is used when you want to switch between one branch and the other. Then git add is used to add all the current changes, both the modified ones and the on track ones, to be ready for committing. The git commit is used to record changes to the repository. So users use this command to save stage changes to the local repository. The next one is git push, so we just want to push it to the cloud. Then git pull fetches and merges changes from the remote repository to the local repository. So use this command to update your local repository with the changes. So if you are working with a team and the next task that you have to do, it depends on another team member finishing his task, and you have been informed that has been done. So all you need to do is to use git pull and it will update that. Then if you don't want to use this method, then you can easily clone the master branch. Then git branch is used to check the branch that you are currently on. Then git checkout is used to check to switch between branch. Git merge combines changes from different branches. So this is one of the commands that the owner of a team that is working that is organizing a project uses to merge verified codes to the master branch, so that other team members can clone and work with the master branch. So this is very, very important. Then git status is used to check the status of a project, so I can see parts of your project that is being tracked or untracked, or the ones that a modify or contract. So these are some of the basic Git command. So before we start applying this, let us now learn how to create a repository online. So earlier I told you to create a GitHub account. So by now you should have your login details. So I'll log into my own. So just a moment for it to load. The network is very poor these days. So I'll just click here and I will click on your repositories. But in your own, you will likely see it here because you might not have any repository. But just follow this step. Click on your user profile or the icon and click on your repository. The network is slow. Okay, so we have this page. So click on this new. So these are my top repositories. Then I'll click on new. So I'll click on new. I don't know why it brought me back here again. Okay, the previous page did not load correctly. So I'll click on new. Next, I'll choose the repository name. Now, see the definition of repository. Repository contains all project files, including the version history. So this has to be unique. So I will give this a name. You try Git, name it correctly, cohort 1 demo. So that I can easily refer to it. Then description, this is optional. This is public because we want it to be for learning purposes. But if it is a real project, especially the one that contains the back end or including the front end, it's suggested that you make it private. Then add a readme. Okay, you can click this or you can leave it like that. Then include a git ignore. So we don't need this. We can see add it from our VS Code. Then the next thing we just do is to create a repository. So after you finish creating a repository, it's going to show us a new page that will contain the URL to this our repository. Okay, so let's now copy this So next we go to our VS Code. And remember, in the last section of this class, we learned how to generate HTML code from a Figma file or from looking at the web design. So we are going to use this project. So I want to zoom out a little. So just as a quick recap, let me show you another image that contains some of the commands that will be needed. So if I zoom this a little, so we'll start with what? Git init, then git status, git add, git commit m minus, git commit minus m, then the description, then git remote add origin, then the link that we just copied now, then git branch to check your current branch, and it comes with a green color. Then git push origin branch name, that is with this green color. Then the next time that we want to push, just use the git status, the git add, the git commit minus n description, git branch, and the git branch origin this. So let's now begin. So if I go back to the terminal, let me push this up. So if I run git status, you notice that an error will occur. And by the way, to check if Git has been properly installed on your system, just type git -- version. So we have Git installed. So I can play this if I want. So the first step here says what? We use git init. So this is to initialize it. So git init. Then the next step now, if I do my git status, I hit enter, notice the informations it will show me. So no git commit, yes. On track files, I have my index.html file. Then I said earlier that we can create the git ignore file. Now what is the git ignore file used for? Just as the name suggests, git ignore can use it to ignore any file or folder that you don't want to be part of the things you save on GitHub or in your version control system. So I'm going to create it dot git ignore, and let me create another folder. Let me call images. So again, once again, let me bring out my git status. Now you notice that I have my git ignore, but it's not showing my image. So let me do it again. Git status. I think it doesn't show an empty folder. So let me create another one called views. Then inside these views, I want to create my about.html. Then I want to get my boilerplate. So I just name this about. So let me close this and get my Git status again. Git status. So now you notice that I have my views. Now let's assume that I don't want this my views folder to be among the items I want to save on GitHub. So how do I do that? So I'll go to my git ignore and I can put slash, but it's not compulsory, slash views. The spelling must be correct or must be the same, views and views. So if I save this, now let me try the git status again. Git status. Now you notice that the views folder is no longer here. So that is how we use it. The next is the git commit minus n description. So say git commit minus m, then I'll say first commit. So notice if I do my git status, you see I think I made a mistake. Git status nothing to commit. Okay. Yes, I missed one step, which is git add space dot. Now this git add space dot is just a shortcut for adding all the on track or the modified files. So that's why I'm not getting the expected result. So git add space dot. So if I say git status, you notice that it's now green. Then next, git commit minus m, first commit. So notice it has worked now. So git status, so it's showing me nothing to be committed. Then the next step is this git remote add origin and the repo link. Remember this link that I copied from here. So let's copy it again. So that is what I mean. So say git remote add origin. Let's verify that the command is correct. Git remote add origin, then the repo link. So space and Ctrl V. Hit enter. Yes, it has worked. Then the next step now is we need to know our branch, right? So git branch. But if you're using VS Code, it will tell you your branch. It will show your branch here. But just to apply the code, say git branch. So you will notice that the branch master is on green. Now if I click on that branch, git branch, then the name of the branch. So I can call this one main. So git branch. Now you notice it will show me main and branch. Now, what if I want to switch to the main branch? So I'm going to use git branch, git checkout main. So this is going to switch. Oh, I made a mistake. So git checkout main. So that has worked. So if I type again, and by the way, if you want to bring out a previous command on a terminal, use your arrow up key. So I can bring out my git branch again. So instead of typing it, now you notice that the main branch is on green. So let's now continue the process. The last process now is this. Sorry, not here. Git push origin branch name with star, which is our main. Now, before we get to this step, if I do this last step now, because my own PC, everything is already set, but yours, in some cases, when you want to do a git commit, it will tell you to explain who you are. So it will require you to put your username and your password or email, or in some cases it's when you want to push. So let's handle that error now before we proceed. So I'll open another text document, and I just have the habit of, whenever I solve an error, I just save it on a text document on my PC so that I can always retrieve it. And a more better solution would be to push that to Git. So I've copied the first instruction, which is this. So I want to configure my email. So I'm going to do that. So let me go back to the terminal and paste. Then in place of this email, I'm going to put my email. Okay. Now hit enter. Then the next one is the username. The username. So I'll copy this. So let's open our VS Code. Paste. Now, if you log into your own, you're going to see your username here. So just copy your username and type it. So I'm going to type my own. Okay. Then to be on the safe side, we also need to add the password. But GitHub doesn't respect the password as much as it respects the personal access token. So let me show you how to create that. So we'll go back to this place. So you are going to click on this your icon here, then look for settings, look for settings, look for settings. So just wait for it to load. Look for settings and click. Next, you're going to look for developer settings and click. Then next, you're going to click on personal access token. It's a drop down, so you click on this classic. Then next, you're going to click on generate new token. So I'm going to click on this one again. Then it will ask you to confirm access. So I'm going to click this. So let me type in my password. So we have access now. So no thanks. So we are now going to just give this a note, any description that we wish to remember this. I will say demo, then you can choose the expiring date. So I'll make this to only last for 7 days, but if you don't want to be repeating this process, you can increase it, but never use this one, please. So I'm going to choose 7 days, then I'm going to click the ones I want, because it's a demo and I'm not sharing with anybody, so I'll just check all of them. But if you have to share, give access to another person, in fact, you don't even need to even give access to another person. If it's a collaborative work, there's a way you can give person access. The person will use his own personal access token and not your own. So I'll just click on generate, and it will generate this, and it will give me this instruction: make sure to copy your personal access token. You won't see it again, so I'll just copy it like this, because I will soon exit this place. So let me just keep it here for reference purposes. Then the next thing I will now do now is I'll now bring this guy up. I'll put password, then inside here I'll paste and I'll hit enter. Then Next, just to be on the safe side, now in case you do this and for the first time it will bring out a pop-up. Now in that pop-up it will ask you to provide your username and your password. Now in place of your password, type in this personal access token. Don't type your login password because it won't be accepted. So just type in this your personal access token. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to show you another thing that you can do so that the error will not be much, or there might not be an error at all. So you type web credentials, so you type web credentials and to open like this, you click on Windows credentials, scroll down, you look for GitHub, choose edit, then here you're going to put your username and paste your personal access token and save. Now in case you don't see this, in case after the first attempt you don't see this guy here, you can just look at it and type it. So you can come here and click add a Windows credential. So if you do that, it will tell you to fill this form. Then you can cancel. Then look at the sample here. So if I click on edit, you need to now add this here in place of that, your username, and once again you paste your personal access token. So I believe with this there will be no error. So next we move to the last command, which is git push origin and branch name, and our branch name now is main. So let's do that. Git push origin main. So if we do that, start trying to push to GitHub. It will give you some time depending on your internet speed. My here is slow. Fail to push some ref because the remote contains work that you not have locally. This is usually caused by another pushing. You may want to first get the remote changes before pushing again. So what did I type? Git push origin main. So let's git status git push so let's use this one. Let's copy this and paste. Okay, so let's switch back to our master branch. So git branch, git check out master, git status. So we have switched back to branch master. So let me do this now. Git push origin master. Okay, so it has worked. So this is a link to the page. So when I give you assignment and I say submit assignment beginning from today or from this class, it is this link I want you to submit. You can submit it. So it just means that you will submit, and I will tell you how you will submit it. You can submit it as a comment in your classroom. Then I will clone it and review it rather. So if I go back to the web page, so I'll check my repositories. Now after I leave this page, I won't see this thing again. So they have asked you to save it. So after saving this will expire. I have to come and create another one. Then if I click on this now, internet is slow and it's increasing the length of the video, but that's okay. So now we have our branch main. So if I go to our branch master, remember we have two branches. So click on this, go to my master. Yes, this error that showed up here was because we changed the default branch to main, and that is why we got this error. So before you create a new branch, make sure you push your code to the master branch, then you can create other branches, else you have this error. So we have this now. So if I click on the master branch, I'm going to see the index.html and the git ignore. Now when you finish loading, you are going to see the time and the comment, which is this. It's about 21 minutes ago. So next I want to make a change now. I'll show you how to push again. remember the guide here says the next time you want to push to this repo, use the git status, git add, git commit, then git branch, and the branch that you want to push to. So let's do that now. So let me just make a slight change. Start here tomorrow. So despite the comment, is still a change. So this is enough for what I want to demonstrate. So to clear my console, type clear. Then git status. Now you notice that the index has been modified. So I'll say git add space dot report git commit -m second commit, hit enter. So git status, sorry, that was a mistake, git status. So you notice this is, so now I don't need to, okay, let me follow the instruction. So next time, git push origin branch name. So git push origin master. Excuse me. So that has worked. So if I refresh this page again, you're going to see on the git ignore, you see the first commit, then on this you're going to see the second commit. The internet is still slow. So we'll come back to this later. So the next thing I want to show you is outlined. So I've showed you how to push to another branch. Okay, it has shown. So this is the first commit, and this is one commit. And if you open this file, you're going to see the new changes that we made. So next, I want to show you, why is it delayed? So next I want to show you this. Now before I show you this, say cloning a project. So how do you clone a project? To clone a project just means to just download it online. Now you will notice that in the master branch I have the git ignore and the index. Then let me go to the main branch. Go to the main branch. Now in the main branch I just have this readme. So if I use the git clone, by default, because this main has a default, it is considered a master branch. It was that mistake we made earlier that reversed this. So this will clone this. So I want to demo that for you. So to do this, I'll open my desktop. Let me close some of these windows. So I'll open my desktop. So if you have installed Git, you see Git bash here. Now I don't want to do it inside this project because it's like two projects inside one. So that is why I'm using this. So to clone a project, all you just need is to come here and copy this. Then type git clone. Then right click paste. And that will be downloaded. So I see cloning into YouTube Drive. So you see done. Now if I go back, you see the drive here. Now you see that it has only this readme, but we want to now upload from the master branch that has the index and the git ignore. So how do we do that? So lastly, we are going to use this command here, git clone minus branch, the branch name, then the remote URL. So I'm going to copy this. I'll come here again, I'll paste. Sorry, you don't use paste here. Don't use control. You don't use control V there. Let me do this again. So it's copy. Then next, I'll come back to this my website and copy this code again. Come back to my Git. So I'm going to clean this. So this is the repo link. But before I do that, I'll paste. So I'll right click and paste. Next. Now the branch name is what? It's master. So you have to verify that is what is master. So we are instructing it now to flow from this specific branch. And this is important because I will just have like one repository for all our classes. So each time I push, I'll just tell you the branch name and you just use this method to just clone it. So next I'll hit enter. Destination path already exists. Okay, so that means I have to do this inside another folder. So I have to close this. So I want to rename this one to just let me add one here. So it's no longer the same now. So it's to be git bash. Let me see if it will recall my last command. Yes, and it did. So hit enter. So you see it's closing it. And it's done. Now if we open this folder, you're going to see that it contains the index and the readme. So this is how we clone, and with this we have come to a successful end of today's class. So I encourage you to practice all these things that I've shown you here, and of course if you have error, try to solve it yourself. You go online and search. I've already given some of the steps of how you solve some coding errors. Then if that does not work, you drop your question on the group chat, and you will likely receive help from your fellow students. Then if it still cannot be fixed, then you can meet me and I'll use the step outlined for you to also solve the problem as soon as possible. So thank you once again. I'll see you in the next class.